بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على المصطفى وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم. Again, we're honored to have our two guest speakers, Sheikh Mufti Muhammad Munir from New York, USA, and our local Sheikh Abu Umar Abdul Aziz, Hafidahumullah Ta'ala. Just to get right into the topic, inshallah tonight, Sheikh Mufti Muhammad Munir will be talking about brotherhood. And many times we hear lectures about brotherhood and how we need to be brothers and it doesn't matter what your background is, etc., etc., etc. But one thing that people fail to, or speakers fail to highlight is how to be brothers. What are the morals? What are the attributes? How am I supposed to act with Abdul Qadir? How am I supposed to treat him? So many times we're left on with a cliffhanger. I know I'm supposed to be good to this brother. I know I'm supposed to take care of him, my brother from wherever he is in the world. But like I said, sometimes we're left on a cliffhanger and you don't know exactly how am I supposed to actualize being a brother. What are the rights he has upon me? What are the rights my sister has upon me, and etc. So inshallah today, Sheikh Muhammad Mufti Munir will obviously start by talking about the importance of brotherhood, but also go into the attributes of being a companion to one another and how us, and this is not only specific to brothers and sisters, also sisterhood in Islam. And without further ado, I'll pass the mic off to Sheikh Mufti Muhammad Munir. Jazakumullahu khairan.
Alhamdulillah. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala rasulillah. Amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Very important, as Ustad Salman mentioned, laying down the fundamental principle, establishing the concept, its virtue, its excellence, its importance, its ruling, and then not leaving the people, not giving them something which incites them, gets them to be insightful about what's that has been said to them, but actually teaching them how to do it, how to implement the beautiful concept that you just inspired them, how to practice, how to actually physically translate it into deeds about the virtue of this, the excellence of that, the obligation of this act, and also teaching them the practical ways of avoiding the thing that you just shook them up and made them afraid regarding. How to practically avoid the thing that's so ugly, that's so bad, that's so haram, that displeases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have the general concept that many of us are unaware of, or many of us, we know about it, but we need a reminder. We need to be reminded. And then we have the specific details of practically actually implementing what we just heard and what we just read and what we just was given the admonishment regarding. So every single Muslim, rather I would say, many non-Muslims, if not most non-Muslims, and someone could possibly even say every non-Muslim knows that Islam, an integral part of Islam, a major part of Islam is brotherhood, is fraternity. It's well known. However, every single Muslim isn't always thinking about it. Some Muslims become forgetful. They become heedless. They become rusty. They become dull. Last but not least, some of us know about things and their virtue, their importance of brotherhood, but we don't actually know how to be brothers. What does it mean to be a brother? Because you're my brother, does that mean you're my friend? Because you're my friend, does that mean you're my brother? An associate, a close companion, an intimate friend? And how just to be your brother? What is the ruling of brotherhood? I only speak to you because we have the same background? Because you studied in Medina? Because you know such and such, that's my man, alhamdulillah. I only speak to you because we look similar. I only speak to you because we have similar language. I only speak to you because you have some type of virtue, you some type of Islamic celebrity. And if I wasn't an Islamic celebrity, you wouldn't even consider me your brother. I walk into the masjid, as an example, you don't give me salams. I say assalamu alaikum, you just look at me like I'm funny. Or you look at me like, are you lost? What do you want to hear? And then the next person comes in and he speaks your language, says, da da da, this is the sheikh. Assalamu sheikh, manir. Hug, kiss. Take this plate of fruit, take this tea, come to my house. But before then it was just like, ugh. This is reality. Or those whom we actually do like and we are fond of. What is the etiquette of being a brother? Do you laugh and you joke with your brother all day, every day? Is it from the etiquette of brotherhood to look through your brother's phone? Is it from the etiquette of brothers to snoop and spy and sneak on your brother? Is it from the etiquette of brotherhood to turn a total blind eye from that which you know your brother is falling into? And I don't want to invade his privacy. I don't want to intrude. I don't want to, step my boundaries. What's meant by brotherhood? How do you actually be a brother? So therefore we have the general concept of brotherhood. And we said about the general concept the following things. Number one, most of us, if not all of us, know about it. Number two, those of us who do know about it, we forget about it. And we need to be reminded. We become dull. That was a good reminder. Khutbah Jummah was a good reminder. After Fajr, the Khatira, it was a good reminder. Something that I already knew, that the Muslims are brothers. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ الْمُسْلِمُ أَخُو الْمُسْلِمِ. The brothers, Muslims are supposed to be brothers. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, فَأَصْبَحْتُ بِنِعْمَتِي إِخْوَانًا. After Allah blessed you, guided you, saved you from Jahiliyyah, you became brothers. وَكُنْتُمْ عَلَى شَفَا حُفْرَةٍ مِّنَ النَّارِ فَأَنْقَذَكُمْ مِنْهَا. And you were on the verge, and you were on the brink of falling into the fire of hell. 9 out of 10 Muslims, if not 10 out of 10 Muslims, know that from the Islamic way of life is brotherhood. But how many of those Muslims are actually thinking about it and conscious and conscientious about brotherhood? That's step number 2. Step number 3, perhaps the most difficult step. What are the do's and don'ts of brotherhood? What are the necessary rights of brotherhood? What must I put forth to my brother, even if I don't like the way he looks outwardly? Even if he speaks a different language? Even if he isn't in the best state? Even if, but he's still my brother. Even if we disagree on an issue, and we don't see eye to eye on an issue, and we can't agree on every single issue, regardless, whether it's from the core or the surface. What is the do and what is the don't? Is he still my brother, or is he no longer my brother? Pay close attention, because many of us, we're sick. And when we try to get out of the sickness, we remain sick, mentally and spiritually. I clearly said, whether it's a core issue or on the surface. Because some people will say, well, that's a core issue, so he's no longer my brother. Or it's on the surface, so it's okay, I don't have to say anything, I don't have to, no, we never said that. We said regardless, core or the surface. So we have 3 levels. Number 1 is the concept and knowing about it. Number 2 is being reminded of it. Number 3, the do's and the don'ts. Last but not least, away from brotherhood is the more intimate relationship, the closer relationship. Not only is he my brother, but he's my friend. Not only is he my brother, but he's my teacher. Not only is he my brother, but he's my father. Not only is he my brother, but he's my son. Not only is she my wife, but she's my sister. Not only is she my sister, but she's my wife. This brother is my neighbor. How complicated, or not even complicated, it becomes simple, but it's the complexity of the rights when you have someone who's your neighbor, who's older than you, who's Muslim, who's your teacher, and your friend. That's 5 different types of huquq, rights, all rolled up into one. Abdul Qadir, you have to know what to do. And if you already know what to do, you have to be reminded. Because you had a long day at work. You had a long day what? Muhammad Ali, you had a long day at work. You're stressed and tired. You have bills to pay. Okay? You were in a place working from 8 in the morning to 5 p.m., 6 p.m., playing music all day long. Uncovered women all day long. Homosexual men all day long, coming in and out of the place. People talking and showing pictures. Oh, you see that? On their phone all day long. You see that? See that? That's what they do. Non-Muslims do this in the workplace. It's well known. There's no one to have a strange looking face. Are we making this up? That's what they do. Even many sinful Muslims. Some people do this in the masjid. Sit down at iftar, scrolling, showing things. Well, Allah Alam, what are they scrolling through? But they scroll all day long and talk about lagho and lahu and rafath all day long. This one, fulana. The party that we had last weekend, the party that we're going to have this weekend. I bought these shoes, want to buy this Jeep. This is the average workplace of non-Muslim, let alone sinful Muslim or just heedless, lost Muslim. And only a few people actually have some type of decency and some type of integrity in the basic workplace. But the average person is cursing, doing this, talking about that, and they hate their workplace, they hate their job. Even people that are professional, it all has to lead to some type of lahu and some type of haram or some type of i'rad an dhikrillah. So you forget about these things. You become a little rusty, you become a little dull. You need that wudu. You need that the dhuhr, the 4, the 2 before, after. You need to sit in the masjid for 10 minutes, read Qur'an. You need the Jummah. You need the Ramadan. You need to be refreshed. And you need to be reminded, let alone many of us, we need to have the things that we already understand in general, we need them to be polished. You learn a bit more about the subject. I've been Muslim for all these years. I know this hadith, but I've never heard an explanation of the hadith. Or this extra fa'idah. Or what this one said and that one said. And you learn and you learn and learn. And this is the benefit of always being involved in ilm, involved in dawah, involved with the masjid, involved with spirituality. Is that you're constantly learning something. You're constantly being reminded of something. It's like something, every time you read it, you learn something new about it. Every time you go back to the book, you read the book several times years ago, you learn more and you learn more and more and more and more. So this is a very important concept of brotherhood. And there are also many manifestations of the proper understanding of brotherhood. There are also many manifestations of a person being observant of brotherhood, manifested in the masjid, manifested in the workplace, manifested in the restaurant. And there are also many violations and people disregarding and disrespecting this concept of brotherhood that is clear and plain in the masjid, Allah's house, let alone outside of Allah's house. And that's very sad. And that's why you can know the status and the state of a people just by walking in the masjid. You can know the status and the state of a whole entire people just by walking in the masjid, such as brotherhood or the lack of brotherhood. If I come into your masjid and I don't feel welcomed, rather I get bad looks, bad stares, people talking this and that, saying that, it's racism, prejudice, colorism, nationalism, tribalism, and 50 other isms in Allah's house, the house of Allah. Then what do you think is like if I went into your house? How would you treat me? If this is how you treat me in the house of Allah, if the Muslims look at each other funny and talk about each other and do this in Allah's house, and everyone came here to pray with one intention, then how would it be if I did a business dealing with you? How would it be if we became related through marriage? What would be the case? How would I even feel comfortable and able to say I'll risk my life for the cause of Allah with you beside me? That's scary. It's very scary. So by coming in the masjid, walking in the masjid, interacting with Muslims in the masjid, you learn a lot of things. Many things are manifested. And from those things which are manifested is the observance or the lack of observance of a simple concept of brotherhood. And as we said before, this is well known to non-Muslims. Well known to non-Muslims. You walk down the street, you're in a place, they say, okay, how you doing, brother? Excuse me, brother. And he's not a Muslim, but he knows that Muslims are supposed to be brothers. How many people came to Islam? Not because of they believed in the Islamic faith initially, they understood the Islamic Aqidah initially, but they came to Islam just because Islam to them was a safe haven, running from racism, running from lack of civil rights. I don't know how things are in Canada, but in the United States, a good portion, a large chunk of revert Muslims became Muslims because of something that they saw, and that was brotherhood. So you mean to tell me no racism? You mean to tell me no colorism? You mean to tell me that me and you are now brothers and we eat from the same plate, drink from the same cup, sleep on the same bed if we had to, and I have a different background, you have a different background? That's powerful. That's infectious. That's contagious. And that's why so many people accepted Islam in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. Was it the proper Islam? That's not the point. That's not the point. Is that a reason to accept Islam, right or wrong? That's not the point. It's from the beauties of Islam. And then oftentimes many people, they fell into a rude awakening when they thought that they were coming to experience Islam, but in actuality, they came and experienced Muslims, which is night and day, two different things. This is what Islam says about racism. This is what Islam says about brotherhood. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ. The believers are nothing more than brothers. But do the Muslims, all of them, say that? You're my brother. I treat you like my brother, regardless of what country you're from. You're from this side of the border. 10 years ago, there was no this and there was no that. It was just one land. The Civil War happened. The European colonists, they came. Whatever the case may be, now there's a border. You're from the north, I'm from the south. So now we're no longer brothers. This is sad. So many people, they came to Islam thinking that this is what they would find, how they would be treated. And oftentimes they would find the exact opposite. Oftentimes they will find that there's a subtle current, a slow current of tribalism, of colorism, of racism, of nationalism among the Muslims, which oftentimes, not all of the times, we're not going to be oppressive, but oftentimes is worse than the racism and the tribalism among the non-Muslims, oftentimes. Do the non-Muslims have the adhan? Are they reading the Qur'an? Do they have Surah Al-Hujurat? Billah alik, I ask you by Allah, do the non-Muslims have Surah Al-Hujurat? Is that in their Injil? فَأَصْبَحْتُمْ بِنِعْمَةِ إِخْوَانًا مَثَلُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ فِي الْمُسْلِمِ لِلْمُسْلِمِ كَالْبُنْيَانِ يُشُدُّ بَعْضُ بَعْضًا. Is that in the teachings and the disciples of Jesus? Do they have these texts about brotherhood? And we do. So oftentimes, the violations of brotherhood, sometimes, not all of the times, is far worse among the Muslims, and never the case with Islam. Muslims who practice Islam, alhamdulillah, nothing to discuss with regards to that. Muslims who don't necessarily practice Islam, or practice selected aspects of Islam, and ignore a great deal of other aspects of Islam, that's a different story. And that is why, regardless whether the statement is right or wrong, regardless whether the person was guided or not, but the one who said, when he traveled to America, perhaps this is the 40s or the 50s, maybe even the 60s, that's why he said, when he went back to the Middle East, and he told the people about his experiences in America, and he says, what did you see? Who did you meet? This person, he said, رَأَيْتُ إِسْلَامًا وَلَمْ أَرَ مُسْلِمِينَ. He says, in America, he says, I saw Islam, but I didn't see any Muslims. He said, I saw Islam, but I didn't see any Muslims. Meaning what? He saw people making 5 salah a day? No. He saw the Christians fasting in Ramadan? No. He saw the people doing this hijab? No. Meaning, according to him, this is his statement, he saw people that were just. He saw people that were professional. He saw people that were clean. He saw people that were on time. He saw people that didn't cut each other off. He saw people that had structure. He saw people, he saw. In contrast to what he supposedly didn't see in his own country in the Middle East. That's what he meant. رَأَيْتُ إِسْلَامًا وَلَمْ أَرَ مُسْلِمِينَ. He says, I saw Islam, but I didn't see Muslims. So this statement, let's just stop and think about this now. Muslim versus Islam when it comes to brother. What does Islam say about brotherhood? How to treat your brother? What does Islam say about race? What does Islam say about your tribe, your family? Why did Allah even make us into tribes and families and villages? For the purpose of knowing each other, respecting your parents, keeping the ties of kin and kith, or for tafakhur, tabahi. I'm strong because I'm from this tribe. You're weak because you're from that tribe. I'm superior because of the complexion of my skin. You're automatically inferior because of the complexion of your skin. And the list goes on and on and on and on. What does Islam say? But what do the Muslims say about brotherhood? And most importantly, as we just said, how infectious is the concept of brotherhood? How many people are attracted to Islam just because of that one concept? So this is something that many of us know, but we're heedless. We need to be reminded about it. This is something that many of us are reminded about, but we just don't know the actual practical ways of being brothers. How to actually be a brother. Last but not least, if someone is your brother and is your friend, what are you to do and what aren't you to do? Tight. With that being said, perhaps we'll read here from the Mukhtasar ibn Hajj al-Qasidin. The author, may Allah have mercy upon him, he says, Kitabu Adab al-Suhbah wal-Ukhuwa wa Mu'asharat al-Khalq wa Nahwi dhalika. He has a chapter in his book regarding Adab al-Suhbah, the etiquettes of friendship, the etiquettes of Ukhuwa, brotherhood, the etiquettes of Mu'asharat al-Khalq, dealing with Allah's creation, and things like this. اعلم أن الألفة ثمرة حسن الخلق والتفرق سوء الخلق لأن حسن الخلق يوجب التحابب والتوافق وسوء الخلق يثمر التباغض والتدابر ولا يخفى ما في حسن الخلق من الفضل والأحاديث دالة على ذلك. He says, know for sure, from the fruits of good character is fraternity, is brotherhood, is togetherness. He says that people being together, people being united, people congregating is a fruit of good character. And people being separated and split up and divided and into schisms and this and that is a product and a fruit of bad character. And that is because he says, Husnul khuluq, good character, as we said, is infectious. It's something which is aggressive. Everyone wants to be around a person that has a good personality, that's funny, that's strong, that's a nice guy. The people love this person. A man who isn't the most handsome of men, isn't the strongest of men. He doesn't have the most money. He doesn't have the most this, the most swag or suave. He doesn't have the most moves in the playbook, now. And then you sit down and says, wow, what is a guy like this doing with a lady like that? How? How many strong, handsome, powerful, influential men she could have had? And she's with somebody that you see in your sight as being not even average, beneath the standard of average. How in the heck is she with him? One of the reasons is husnul khuluq, is good character. He is appreciative, respectful. He treats her a certain way. He makes her feel a certain way. His good character is something that draws and pulls. That's with regards to a worldly level. In the Islamic level, why do the people love the ulama so much? The scholars so much? Students of knowledge come, everyone wants to come, hug, kiss, come to my masjid, come to my center, come to my duksi, come. It's not just because of knowledge, but because they love his character. They love how he conducts himself, how he behaves, how he is. It's strong, it pulls. So good character, he says, it necessitates and it requires a tahabbub. People mutually love one another. A tawafuq, we can get along. We can come to certain terms. Do me and Abu Umar agree on every single fiqh issue, every single mas'ala, every single book? No, we don't. And if we did, will we actually be honest and sincere to ourselves as seekers of knowledge that I'm going to make mujamala of him and he's going to make mujamala of me? No. But we have enough respect, enough love to see eye to eye on many things, and to know if we ever differ, it's going to be with respect and ihtiram. And there's no hard feelings. And his good character, inshallah, if Allah gives me good character, it's going to bring us together. And then Sama, then wahakadha. And the opposite is the opposite. Why we don't never cooperate, we don't never help each other out, we don't never, because one of us, if not both of us, has bad character. So I don't even want to deal with him and work with him, or vice versa, or the both the same. So the author, he's saying here that this is a fruit of good character, people being together and coming together. And what character could be better than the character of Islam? What character could be better than the character of the Qur'an? And that is why Islam spread through the sword, through the spear, through the arrowhead, through the catapult. Islam spread through many different ways. Through the marketplace, through buying and selling? No. Through battles and wars? No. In America, how many wars were there? What armies fought in Islam? How many merchants from the Muslims went to America, like Indonesia and Malaysia? Not that many. But one of the reasons, as we just said, why Islam spread like a wildfire was because of what? This one principle of good character, and that good character leading to brotherhood, leading to mutual love and affection, and the people coming together. What is more beautiful than brotherhood? The author, rahimahullah ta'ala, he then says, and bad character, it proves the exact opposite. And it gives the exact opposite of at-tabaghud, mutual hatred for each other, such as jealousy and envy. The people, they outwardly seem together, but they're really jealous and envious of each other. Or thirst for power, an insatiable desire for control. So we come together and we talk about politics. We can't agree on anything, because in actuality, I want to be the head honcho, and you want to be the head honcho. We all want to be the boss. We all want to control. We all want to be the big, strong man. That's bad character. So even if our bodies are outwardly in one place, our hearts clearly hate each other. I can't stand him. Oh, when I leave the meeting, he said, I can't stand that brother. I hate his guts. But you just sat with him, you gave him a hug, gave him a shake, you drank coffee, because I had to, outwardly. But deep down inside, I hate him. He thinks he's this. He thinks he's that. He thinks everyone else is beneath him, so on and so forth. This is a reality. Good character causes and brings something. And bad character causes and also brings something. And this is crucial in understanding why so many people became Muslim, because of the concept of brotherhood. And why many people may have left Islam because of the violation of brotherhood. I didn't feel welcome when I walked into that masjid. They didn't make me feel welcome. They made me feel like a foreigner, like a stray dog on the porch. You can come on the porch. We'll throw you a couple pieces of fat, meat. You can eat that, but don't come into the house. This is the reality of many masjids. A stray dog. It's a hungry, wet dog. It's raining outside. We can't just kick you and throw rocks. You can come close, but don't come too close. Don't overstay your welcome. And just look at the exact opposite effect when you walk into the masjid, and the imam of the masjid that doesn't speak your language, that has a different skin color, that comes from a different part of earth, he gives you a hug, a shake, he squeezes you, gives you a kiss on the forehead, and he says, marhaba. He teaches you, he opens up his door, this is my house, this is the food that I have. What are the chances, Samad, of that new shahada leaving that imam? What are the chances? He's walking off of the street. He was a Christian, he was an atheist, an agnostic. And this imam from Kuwait, this imam from Mali, this imam from Trinidad, wherever he's from, was so sweet, so kind. He squeezed him to death when he gave him a hug. He picked him a name. He gave him his first thobe, his first kufi, his first miswak. He gave him his first book to read Arabic. This sheikh taught me everything that I know. He let me stay in his house. He gave me his own plate of food. What are the chances of him deviating and straying from the teachings of that imam? What are the chances? Slim to none. And the exact opposite of someone you walk in and say, Assalamu alaikum, and they look at you like, it's time to break fast. You sit down, and it get. That's your water and your dates. This sufra here is our sufra. You eat over there. Huh? I need a job. Anybody have a job? I can't help you. I'm looking to get married. I can't help you. I'm looking for this. Can't help you. Sorry. Malish. What are the chances of this person remaining in this masjid and learning and being steadfast upon Islam? What are the chances? Slim to what? Slim to none. Moving forward, he says, it's well known the hadith that pertain to good character, that pertain to brotherhood, that pertain to people being friends because of this. فقد روي من حديث أبي الدرداء رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال ما من شيء أثقل في ميزان المؤمن يوم القيامة من خلق حسن رواه الترمذي وصححه وفي حديث آخر. He says here, or the author, he goes on to speak about the different virtues of brotherhood, of sisterhood, the excellent merits that are found in the authentic hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, which we'll summarize for lack of time. The next chapter, the author, he finely tunes the concept. How to be your brother, how to be a sister, and most importantly, how to be one's friend. What are the finely tuned etiquettes of friendship? What to do and what not to do. He says here, فصل في بيان الصفات المشروطة في من تختار صحبته. He says the conditions, the necessary conditions and prerequisites of the people that you choose as your friends. In other words, everybody shouldn't be your friend, even if they're a Muslim. He's your brother, it's someone that you have rights over and for, you have to help out, but it doesn't mean it has to be your close, intimate companion. Your friend that you're with, you travel with, you eat with, you drink with, you go here, you do this. That is supposed to be a selected person. Whether it's based off of things regarding yourself, things regarding him, or it's an issue of mutual regarding. Pay close attention, you young men. Everyone isn't supposed to be your close friend in school, in college. Just because you play basketball with someone doesn't mean that that's your friend. Just because someone is a good basketball player doesn't mean he's a good friend. Just because he's a good friend doesn't mean that he's a good intimate friend. My closest of my closest. There's a huge difference between the two. Many youth, as we said last week in Masjid al-Rahmah, many Muslim youth, they became guided, walillahi alhamd. They became attracted to the Sunnah and remained firm upon the Sunnah because of good friendship. And there were also countless Muslim youth that became misguided, that were turned away from the Sunnah, turned away from Islam, turned away from ilm because of bad friendship. Al-Akhillah, Allah says, the Khalils, on that day, Yawm al-Qiyamah, He says, بَعْضُهُمْ لِبَعْضٍ عَدُوٌّ. They'll be enemies towards each other, except for the muttaqeen. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He teaches us about the rewards of bad friends and those who call you and pull you to do evil. So before you get caught up and entangled in the spider's web, it is upon you as a young man, Abdul Qadir. It's your responsibility. It's your responsibility, sister Fulana and Fulana, to be mindful of who you make and bring into your inner circle, and who you consider to be your close friend, who you consider to be your associate. Nothing to do with general brotherhood. You give him a handshake, you give him a hug, you eat iftar and tayyib, la bas, that's fine. But it doesn't mean this is the person that you travel with, you go here with. He knows this, you know, it's a different story. And of course, the ring is even tighter. That person, there's no way that they should be even around you like that if they aren't even Muslim. Period. You're not supposed to have no kuffar friends. There's a co-worker. It's an old friend from back in the day. Someone that you see, my neighbor, an associate. How you doing, okay? How about those Eagles, right? There's nothing wrong being cordial, holding the door for somebody, helping somebody out, changing the tire, huh? But that doesn't mean he's my what, Mahdi? My friend. Friend is only supposed to be Muslim. And the friend who's Muslim, it doesn't just mean he's your close friend just because he's Muslim. No. It has to be selected. Everybody understand this? Of those people who are your friends, let alone your what? Close friend. That's my right hand. That's my man. My what? That's my what? You say that's my what, Hishan? That's my right hand. You understand this, right? That's my homie. Somebody that's your close friend. It's supposed to be selected among what? Selected. And not to take anybody as your close friend. Because the friend will have an effect on your character. Well, I put, it's a must. You can say, no, he's not influencing me. No. If you're around somebody, just being around them long enough is going to have an influence. Just being around them long enough. The Prophet ﷺ, he tells us, لَا تُسَوُّنَّ صُفُوفَكُمْ. He says, either you straighten your rows, and if you don't straighten your rows, he says, or Allah will certainly separate your faces and your hearts. There are some people today of modern science, modern medical science, they say, it's a proven scientific fact, if 20 people stand in a row, close enough and long enough, their hearts will begin to beat at a similar pace. 20 people, if they stand in a row long enough and straight enough and close enough, their hearts will begin to beat at a similar pace. What are their backgrounds? Why are they standing in a row? Doesn't matter. Imagine 20 people standing in a row 5 times a day with the same purpose and the same belief. How much are their hearts going to beat in the same way? Only Allah knows. Is this from the secrets of that hadith? Is it from the i'jaz, the miraculous immobility of the Prophet's words? Only Allah knows. He says, if you don't straighten your rows, Allah will separate your hearts and your faces. And this is one of the reasons, and Allah knows best, why we ask the question, Muslims, they keep praying and keep praying and keep praying and keep praying, but they're still separated and divided. They still aren't brothers. They still aren't friends. They still aren't together. Maybe because we're not straightening the rows in the salah, and Allah has punished us. How is it possible for the Muslims to be bigots and fanatics because of their race and their tribe, and we're all in the same masjid every day? Maybe because we come to the masjid and we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. Moving forward, he says, روينا عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال المرء على دين خليله فلينظر أحدكم من يخالل واعلم أنه لا يصلح للصحبة كل أحد ولا بد أن يتميز المصحوب بصفات وخصال يرغب بسببها في صحبته وتشترط تلك الخصال بحسب الفوائد المطلوبة من الصحبة وهي إما دنيوية كالانتفاع بالمال والجاه أو بمجرد الاستئناس بالمشاهدة والمحاورة وليس ذلك غرضنا وإما دينية وتجتمع فيها أغراض مختلفة منها الاستفادة بالعلم والعمل ومن الاستفادة من الجاه تحصينا عن إيذاء من يكدر القلب ويسد عن العبادة ومن الاستفادة من المال للاكتفاء به عن تضييع الأوقات في طلب القوت ومن الاستعانة في المهمات فتكون عدة في المصائب وقوة في الأحوال ومنها انتظار الشفاعة في الآخرة كما قال بعض السلف استكثروا من الإخوان فإن لكل مؤمن شفاعة فهذه فوائد تستدعي كل فائدة شروطا لا تحصل إلا بها وفي الجملة فينبغي أن يكون في من تؤثر صحبته 5 خصال أن يكون عاقلا حسن الخلق غير فاسق ولا مبتدع ولا حريص على الدنيا أما العقل فهو رأس المال ولا خير في صحبة الأحمق لأنه يريد أن ينفعك فيضرك ونعني بالعاقل الذي يفهم الأمور على ما هي عليه إما بنفسه وإما أن يكون بحيث إذا أفهم فهم وأما حسن الخلق فلا بد من إذ رب عاقل يغلبه غضب أو شهوة فيطيع هواه فلا خير في صحبته وأما الفاسق فإنه لا يخاف الله ومن لا يخاف الله تعالى لا تؤمن غائلته ولا يوثق به وأما المبتدع فيخاف من صحبته بسراية بدعته قال عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله عنه عليك بإخوان الصدق تعش في أكفانهم فإنهم زينة في الرخاء وعدة في البلاء وضع أمر أخيك على أحسن أو على أحسنه حتى يجيك ما يقلك منه واعتزل عدوك واحذر صديقك إلا الأمين ولا أمين إلا من يخشى الله ولا تصحب الفاجر فتتعلم من فجوره ولا تطلعه على سرك واستشر في أمرك الذين يخشون الله تعالى قال يحيى بن معاذ بئس الصديق تحتاج أن تقول له اذكرني في دعائك وأن تعيش معه بالمداراة أو تحتاج أن تعتذر إليه ودخل جماعة على الحسن وهو نائم فجعل بعضهم يأكل من فاكهة في البيت فقال رحمك الله هذا والله فعل الإخوان. وقال أبو جعفر لأصحابه أيدخل أحدكم أو أيدخل أحدكم في كم أخيه أيدخل أحدكم يده في كم أخيه فيأخذ منه ما يريد؟ قالوا لا. قال فلستم بإخوان كما تزعمون. ويروى أن فتحنا الموصلي جاء إلى صديق له يقال له عيسى تمار فلم يجده في المنزل فقال للخادمة اخرجي أو أخرجي لي كيس أخي فأخرجته فأخذ منه درهمين. وجاء عيسى إلى منزله فأخبرته الجارية بذلك فقال إن كنت صادقة فأنت حرة فالنظر فإذا هي قد صدقت فعتقت. The author, he says, know for sure that everyone isn't suitable to be a friend. Everyone isn't someone for you to take as your friend. Not everybody. Rather, you have to be selective and you have to be careful of those whom you consider your friends. Associates is one thing. A general brother that you meet, that you encounter is one thing. But your friend, let alone your close friends, let alone your best friend, your most intimate confidant, the brother that you can call at any time of the night, he'll pick up the phone and you tell him about a serious situation that you're going through. And you don't have to say, hey, don't mention this to nobody, right? You don't even have to say that. Keep this between me and you because it's already understood that he's going to keep your confidence. I need some money, Simon. Can you help me out? I don't have to give no introduction. I don't give no long, big paragraph. Can I borrow some money? I need, that's it. Bismillah, you got it. Fuck it. Someone that's your close friend, someone that you can trust, that you respect, that you've known for years, that's your intimate friend. You have to be selective. You can't take anybody and bring them into your intimate inner realm. It doesn't work like that. In Islam or outside of Islam, it doesn't work like that. So the author, the Shaykh Rahimahullah Ta'ala, he says there are different reasons behind befriending people. Worldly reasons, religious reasons, reasons that combine between the world and the Deen. Different reasons behind people being friends. And there are different levels of what? Of friendship. There are different levels of friendship. He says here, moving forward and summarizing this speech, that in brief, there are 5 main conditions that have to be found in your friend. He says there has to be what? 5 main conditions for those whom you choose to make suhbah with, to be in your company. Number 1, the person has to be upon the sunnah. The person has to be upon knowledge. The person has to know this and read this and study this. That's not what the Shaykh said. He says the first condition, not the only condition, but the first condition, أن يكون عاقلا, is that he has to have a good amount of common sense. He doesn't have to be the smartest, the sharpest tool in the shed, but he can't be an imbecile. He can't be an idiot. He can't be someone that's just not even smart, period. He has to be someone that has basic common sense, let alone some intelligence. That's the first condition for picking a friend, is someone who has a good mind, a good head on his shoulders. Number 2, he says, Hasan al-Khuluq. He has to have good character. He has to have good character. He has to be a good person, a good-hearted person, not a creep, not an evildoer, not a low-life. Someone that has good character. He knows how to be good. Number 3, what? غير فاسق. He can't be a sinner. There are certain people that have good character, but they're sinful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everyone is sinful. That's not what we mean. We mean that someone is a fasiq, mu'lin, someone that's open in public with his sins, someone that keeps making the same sins over and over again publicly, and he doesn't care. He has no shyness. Everybody understand this? But someone who has good character and is also obeying Allah's laws. After that, wala mubtadi'. You can't be a person of innovation. You can't be a person who loves Allah, who loves Islam, who loves the Muslims, who's soft-hearted, he's kind. Tafadhi akhi, take the bowl of fruit, take the tea. But he's practicing something that Muhammad never practiced. He's doing something that Muhammad never ever did. His religion is based off of things that are made up, things that have no foundation. He thinks that he's getting closer to Allah. In actuality, he may be getting further from Allah. Waliyadhu billah. Last but not least, he can't be a person who's greedy upon the dunya. He can't be someone that's a dunya fiend, someone that's a slave of the dollar bill, a slave of the dirham, a slave of the dinar. He can't be someone who's really, really, really thirsty and eager and hunger to gain material status. So we mentioned 5 conditions. 5 conditions. The first condition is what, Abdul Qadir? Number 1. Huh? We never said Muslim. Aqil. He has to be what? What does that mean? Good-minded. You got to be strong-minded. You can't have a simple-minded friend, a weak-minded friend. You can't have a simpleton as your best friend. Everybody understand this? How many people go to jail? How many people get into this, fall into this because they're just around stupid people? They're just around what? Stupid people. Let's be real. He may have a good heart, but he's just what? He's just stupid. He doesn't know what to do. And he causes trouble and he leads you into what? Trouble. Am I making this up, Abdul Qadir? He's a good-hearted guy, but he's just what? Just doesn't have a brain. So that's the first condition. Condition number 2 is what? He has to have husnul khuluq. He has to have good character. Number 3 is what? How many people are smart, but they're diabolic, devilish, manipulative? They're smart, sharp as a thumbtack, but they're always scheming and conniving, wishing to control people and ruin and cause these people to split up. They're evil, but they're what? Really, really smart. The worst people in history, the most diabolical people, were also the most what? Geniuses. No doubt. Number 3 is what? غَيْرَ فَاسِقٍ. He got to be pious and religious when it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because there are many brothers that have good character, but they make all types of evil sins and they have no shyness. After good character is not enough. Because we have some Muslims that are smart, that are knowledgeable, that are learned. They are the most beautiful brothers that you'll come across. But they lack what? Sunnah. Practicing bid'ah. Propagating bid'ah. Traveling around the world for months and weeks at a time to spread what? Bid'ah. Unfortunately. So they're still missing. Last but not least, he's smart. He's good character. He isn't an open public evil sinner. He isn't a person of innovation. He isn't someone upon misguidance. But he's what? He loves the dunya. I need more money. I need more status. I need more power. I need more influence. I need more control. And every single opportunity that I get to gain more dunya, I rush and I run forth to it. And most importantly, waliyadu billah, or the most dangerous thing is that oftentimes we Islamify or spiritually legitimize our greed for the dunya. This talk that I'm giving right now is only for the dunya. I'm reaching status and power among you because of knowledge. It's dangerous. Nas'Allah salam. So therefore, we mentioned 5 what? 5 conditions for picking a friend. And then the author then goes on to mention some of the athar with regards to what the Salaf al-Salih rahimahumullah ta'ala said and how they behaved with each other with regards to their friends. And we'll just summarize a few that are very interesting. The first one, he says, Yahya ibn Mu'adh said, بِئْسَ الصَّدِيقِ تَحْتَاجْ أَن تَقُولَ لَهُ أُذْكُرْنِي فِي دُعَائِكَ. He says, the one that you have to say, make dua for me, he says he's a horrible friend. A horrible friend that you have to say, Udhkurni fi du'aik. Make dua for me. He's a what, Abdullah? Horrible friend. Why is he a horrible friend? Huh? You gotta ask him. We say all the time, that's unconditional, no doubt. You know I'm gonna make dua for you, akhi. Whether you brought me some food, you picked me up from the airport, I'm gonna make dua for you because you're my friend. You're my brother, you're my man. I love you for Allah's sake, and I want good for you in this life and then thereafter. So you don't even have to what? Say that. Are these the words of the Prophet ﷺ? No. It's haram to say that. No. You can remind someone, or you say, Hisham, I'm going through something. Please make dua for me. That's not haram. But he's just trying to give a general what? A point of what it actually means to be a friend, a brother, a real brother. It's something that certain things are unconditional. You don't even have to say that. It's already, I got it, khalas. He then says, وَأَن تَعِيشُ مَعَهُ بِالْمُدَارَةِ. And you got to live with him. And you always got to be trying to move out of the way and compromise and duck a fight in an argument with him. And you really can't be yourself. You really can't speak your mind. You really can't be open and transparent with him. You have to accept something or say it's okay. In actuality, you really don't feel the same way. I.e., what friend is it that you have to be fake in front of? and you can't be yourself. You can't be transparent with this person. Whether the friend is judgmental, whether the friend is totally incompatible with you, or whatever the case may be. Last but not least, he says, أو تحتاج أن تعتذر إليه, or you have to say sorry. You have to always make an excuse. Pardon me, forgive me. Because a true friend, a true brother is automatically going to say, what? Don't even worry about it. Class. I already understand. It's clear. You were angry, you were upset. Just forget about it. It's all right. Labas. But someone that isn't truly your friend is going to get upset and angry with you. It doesn't mean that it's haram. These are not the words of what? The Prophet ﷺ. This is not a hadith. And even the hadiths are understood in different lights. Interpretation of the hadith. A general hadith, a specific hadith. But we're trying to make a general point. Is that a true brother and a true friend is someone that's supposed to understand you. That you can be real with. Someone that's supposed to have your back. He's supposed to take care of you. He's supposed to be somebody that what? I got it. Khalas. We're friends. We're brothers. Don't even worry about it. Bismillah. It's not a problem. You don't have to say 50 times, Jazakallah khair, Jazakallah khair, Jazakallah khair for dropping me off. You don't have to say that 50 million times. Moving forward, and perhaps this will be the last one that he says here. Abu Ja'far, one day he said to his friends, he says, أَيُدْخِلُ أَحَدُكُمْ يَدُهُ فِي كَمِّ أَخِيهِ فَيَأْخُذُ مِنْهُ مَا يُرِيدُ. Back in the day, everyone didn't always necessarily have these type of pockets. And the people always didn't necessarily have these type of wallets that we have. So, perhaps it was a pocket up here, or a pocket on the side, or even some thobes today, certain Sudani thobes, they have a pocket on the back. Okay? Or people, they put things in their sleeves. So he says, can somebody put his hand in his brother's sleeve and his brother's wallet and take whatever he wants from him? The people, they said, la. He says, no, he can't do that. He says, then you're not really true brothers as you say you are. You're not really true brothers. You're not true brothers if I can't do that. If I can't, let me grab something really quick and take it without seeking his permission. He says, then you're not truly what? You're not truly brothers. Is it haram? Is it obligatory for him to allow me to go in his pocket and dig in his pockets what you got in your pockets? No, that's not the point. But the point is that the brother's supposed to be what? A what? Huh? A true bond. Mikasa, what? Sukasa. My house is what? Is your house. Whatever I got is yours. Bismillah. You're my brother. You're my friend. There is no stinginess. There's no such thing as, oh, it's not enough for you. If it's one sandwich, then now what? Two sandwiches. That's what he's talking about right here. Last but not least, he says one day there was a man whose name was Fath al-Mawsili. A friend came to him whose name was Isa at-Tammar. So, Isa came to his house and he wasn't there. The man wasn't there. So he said to the servant, she was the khadima, she was a slave girl. He said to her, bring me my brother's sack of coins. Bring me his sack of gold coins. Bring me his money. It's like I'm going to your house, Mahdi, and I say to your young son and young daughter, bring me Abby's wallet. Bring me what? Bring me Abby's wallet. He's not here. Get your father's wallet. You know who I am. You know I'm your father's close friend. Go get Abby's wallet. He's asleep. He's not here. Go give me his what? Go give me his wallet. Go give me the shoebox. Go give me the stash of money. Bring it to me. So obviously, this woman, she was a khadima. She wasn't free. She was a slave girl. Was the owner of her, was he an alim, a rich man, an aristocrat? In most cases, she was afraid. We all know the concept, someone is a slave, a servant, they're afraid, they're scared. So she obeyed him, and she brought back the sack of money. فَأَخْرَجَتْهُ فَأَخَذُوا مِنْهُ دِرْهَمَيْنِ. So she brought it, and he took 2 dirhams out of the bag. Isa came home, he left, and she told him what took place. What did Isa Tamar, he said, what did he do? What happened? He slapped the slave girl, he punched her, he kicked her. You stupid fool, you gave him my money. What happened? Did he become upset? Did he go and chase down the guy? Where's my money? He said something to the slave girl. He says, "In kunti sadiqatan." He says, if you're telling the truth, then you're free. He says what? In kunti sadiqatan fa anti hurra. So then he looked, he investigated, and he found out that what she said was true, and he manumitted her. He gave her her freedom because of her intelligence, how smart she was, how intuitive she was. They're close friends, they're brothers. He needs the money, give him the money. Everybody understand this? So this slave woman, perhaps one could say, كانت أفقه. She had more fiqh and more knowledge, كثير منا, than many of us today, who hide things from their close friends, their brothers. They aren't transparent, they're stingy, they're greedy. They don't want to help each other out. That's unfortunate. So with that being said, I believe this will conclude my speech regarding brotherhood and regarding friendship. It's a very long topic, a very important topic, a very serious topic. I wish there are many books, many lectures, many classes that have already been given and written. I'm sure that my brother, my colleague, my friend, I believe Abu Umar is older than me, perhaps a year or two, maybe more than that. Allah knows. Bid'Allahi ta'ala. Perhaps, and I believe in my heart, I don't think that he's going to become angry or upset if I spoke too long and took some of his time, some of his shine. I don't think that he feels like that deep down inside. And if he does become angry and he does become upset, then he can do whatever he wants to do. You're going to go in my pocket and take the dirhamain. Tafaddal. Tafaddal. Inshallah. Ma'alish, Sheikh. Jazakumullah khairan. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله نبينا وإمامنا محمد.